What are y'all saying about your spouses?
I have the best.
Well, I think I have the best.
Oh boy. Hey everybody, welcome to my Pastor Paul Update Show. Thank you for joining me today. Look who I have with me. It's Pam and Sarah. These are our strength coaches, certified strength coaches. If I had like a form, I'd give it to you, but I'm sure you already have one, don't you? Mm-hmm. Yes. We'll get to that in just a second, but first of all, let me just remind you, a quick announcement, that February 6th is our annual celebration, so please pre-register for that online. That would be great. That would help us out. You can always register when you get here as well, but you can be part of it from your home because we'll have live stream going. And then obviously you can come on February 6th after the second service, our modern service. So just a reminder, February 6th, annual celebration. It's another one of these years where we've got COVID raging, and so our celebration won't be as celebrative because we can't, pass around the potluck dishes, right? Does potluck just mean ooze celebration or what? I mean, we're Lutherans.
Well, yeah, sure.
That's really convincing. Okay, all right. So let's talk about strengths. So as before I said, these two lovely ladies are strengths coaches now, which is pretty stout. I mean, it's like, I'm not saying it's as much as a PhD, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close.
So close.
Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so we decided to start using Strengths Finder, CliftonStrengths Finder, to help people with their purpose in life. One of our goals is to connect people with their purpose. So tell us a little bit about CliftonStrengths Finder. Why do we use it? Isn't this like a secular tool? Why aren't we using some kind of spiritual thing?
Well, we've all been gifted with different talents. And Strengths Finder is a great tool to be able to really dig into it, and it has over 50 years of research behind it. So even though it can be used as a secular tool, we can certainly use it here in the church as well.
Absolutely. Lots of Bible passages to back up all the strengths that Clifton Strengths recognizes. So. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, so it is one of those tools, and that's the great thing about it. I think every time people get to look at their strengths, they learn something about themselves, and certainly how God has equipped them. So, how many strengths are there?
There are 34 strengths in 4 domains.
In 4 domains, and what are the 4 domains? Pop quiz.
Well, executing skills, executing strengths. Relationship building, strategic,
and influencing.
Influencing, right. So the 4 areas, and really when you look at all of them, you have all the different strengths that are in each category. And what do y'all do with that? So you're strengths coaches. So what do you do with somebody gives you their results? They get their top 5 strengths, right? Mm-hmm. The basic results are top 5 strengths. What do you do with those? With a person or a couple or whatever?
I think first thing we want to do is make sure that people understand what that means. And what those strengths can mean for one person doesn't necessarily mean it means the same thing for the next person. So you really want to have them examine the report that they get from Clifton Strengths and highlight what sentences or words or phrases resonate with them. And then you want to start exploring with them, how does that work in your life? How do you see yourself using that in your life, either at home or at work or wherever it might be? So we don't want to define them, we want them to define themselves and kind of discover for themselves what that means. We wouldn't want to tell them what it means because it may not be accurate.
We kind of talk about that as naming, aiming, and claiming it. So you first got to name the strength, know what it is, and then you got to claim it and make it your own. Mm-hmm. As she's saying, find that together, and then aim that in the direction whether it's here, a relationship with someone, or whether it's at your workplace.
Yeah, because the ultimate goal is to grow in that strength, not just to have it and know that you have it, but really make it grow and make it work for you. Help that strength help you find success in whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and I love that approach because I think personality tests and things like that, a lot of people kind of say, oh, I've done that, been there. And that's not who I am, or that I don't want to be labeled or whatever. That's, I think, what's unique about strengths is that it's open to you to be able to say, oh yeah, I do see that in myself, or I don't see that in myself, or you know, it talks about how you function naturally, right?
Correct.
This is the way that I think we would say as Christians that God has wired you.
Well, and it's very consistent. If you are over the age of about 26, if you've taken the Strengths Finder anywhere, it is probably the same. Or at least your top 10 strengths are the same as they were, because they are your talents. They are what you've done, and you make them a strength when you use them over and over.
Right. Which reminds me, a great segue into the parable of the talents. And though in Jesus' day it's not the same thing, that was a sum of money, but it applies to us, right? Because we're not just people with money, we're people with strengths, and to use those for God's kingdom. So that's really awesome. I will just give a testimonial to this. My number one strength is learner. And so that means what?
It means that you love to learn new things.
I do.
Yeah.
I love learning new things. All the time. I kind of just, yeah. So long story short, until I realized that, I remember feeling working, and then draining. Okay, you know that cycle that you get into where you just work, and you feel like, oh my God, I just gotta bust out of the mold. You know what stopped that cycle for me? Was adding some learning into my life on a regular basis.
Yes, because your strengths energize you.
Right.
You know, when you're working in your strengths, it's really, really exciting. It's a way you naturally do something. And when you're not working in your strengths, it's draining, just like you were saying.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest message, if I could share that with anybody, is the reason we do strengths is because we want you to have that energy and that focus and that God-given, tap into that God-given, what do you want to call it? Potential, whatever it is. I just feel like when people work in their strengths, their life is more productive and they find more value in the things that they're doing. So,
more successful, you feel
Yeah.
better about yourself,
Yeah.
you feel like you're growing. Yeah, it's good all the way around.
And that's what God wants for you. I mean, right? It's not about health and wealth and prosperity. We're not saying that. We're just saying purpose, right? Connect to your purpose.
Yeah.
And it helps not only understand your own purpose, but that not everyone else is wired the same way you
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
And able to really look at someone else and see, oh, that's why they're
Right.
seeing this in a different way than I am.
Right.
So it really helps you with that as well.
Yeah.
And different doesn't mean that your way or their way is any
Right.
better. All strengths are good.
Correct.
And so we want people to recognize
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah. So we want you to learn about your strengths, because not only do we apply that here at church, but I think most people can apply it really well at their place of occupation.
And at home.
Oh yes, and at home. With
Absolutely in your relationships with your spouse, with
yes.
your kids.
Yes.
With everybody.
What are y'all saying about your spouses?
I have the best.
Well, I mean, I think I have the best.
Oh boy.
Okay, they're both
Okay.
They're good.
They each have their strengths.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Ah, see, there we go. All right, so tell us what's coming up for us as a congregation. What are some opportunities where people can learn more about their strengths and start applying them in their lives?
Yeah, the first one is our Introduction to Strengths class. It's this Monday, the 31st of January from 6:30 to 8. It's not too late. Email me and I can get you the assessment if you haven't already taken it, and I'll get that right out to you, and you can still join us on Monday, so that would be great. That's the intro class, and that is like the prerequisite to our other classes, so that you can understand the basics before we jump into something a little bit deeper or a different.
Yeah, so we want you to come to the intro class. And if you did the intro class last year, it's still good.
Yeah.
We just want you to take the intro class before you move on.
Another thing is, if you can't do the intro class on Monday night, but we can get you in on Monday to do a one-on-one. I know I've got time on Monday.
I do this one.
So we could get you in on a one-on-one, and that can count as the intro class as well.
Tell me the other things that you have lined up then this winter, spring.
My list.
Yeah.
I can't see it without my glasses on.
Well, I'll tell you about parenting. We had our first Parenting with Strengths class last fall. We're planning to do that again this spring. Don't have dates yet, so stay tuned. Probably on a Wednesday night. two Wednesdays in a row.
Awesome.
But really, what's exciting about the parenting class is you really have to own your own strengths and know how you work, but also be able to spot strengths in your kids, because your kids have their own talents and they probably don't look at the world the way you do. And so being able to start doing some strength spotting. We also, in addition to having the 34 strengths you can have as an adult, we are able to get codes for something called the Strengths Explorer, and that's for kids who are 10 to 14. Yeah, so if that's something you're interested in, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
And in February, on February 8th from 6:30 to 8, we're also going to have a couples class. That is just where you learn how to relate to your spouse or your partner on a one-on-one level, where you understand your strengths, you understand theirs, and then you can also figure out how you can combine your strengths, because if you combine some of your strengths with some of your spouse's strengths, you can be even more powerful than you are on your own, and you guys can, really rock the world. So
Yeah, very good. Anything else? Any other dates?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Deeper dive, Sarah.
We're going to do Deeper Dive. I think that's on March 21st. So Deeper Dive is where we take a look at your own strengths and how they combine, because as I just said, when you combine your strengths, like for me, it's positivity and woo, you combine those two and it's much stronger than what it would be on your own, and you can be a powerhouse. So we want you to come and discover that about yourself, figure out how your strengths work in tandem with each other.
Which is why Sarah and I work well together, because I have relator and strategic, and so our strengths are very different, but we can work together.
We work very well together, which is really cool.
And then in April 5th, we have a leadership class, and really you can be a leader, whether you're a leader in your home, whether you're a leader in your workplace, leader on a team, and it's really looking to see how you take people's strengths and use them, like you're saying with the couples, but also recognizing you don't have to have every single strength on a team. You just have to know everyone's strength and figure out how do you use all of those strengths to benefit the team in whatever you're doing, whether that's a more positive relationship, whether that's planning a vacation, whether it's at work.
Very good, very good. I'm excited about it. All these opportunities are open to you because we have two strengths coaches, which again, it's amazing. Most churches don't have that privilege. And so we're glad that obviously y'all have gone through all the training and are willing to do that. Yep, go ahead.
They can have a one-on-one with us as well.
Actually, you can have two.
Yes, you can have two. So if you want to come in and just do a one-on-one session, you are welcome to do that with us.
Yeah, we'd love to do that.
Yep. Strengths are so important. I have all of our couples who are planning on getting married. They get their strengths report and learn about each other. It's just that helpful in life and relationships. So, what's the cost for any of these classes?
Zero.
All right. So it's all free, and we just love for you to engage with your strengths. Any last things about strengths that you want to share? Any fun statistics?
Well, you'll learn about it in the intro class, but you're 1 in 34 million. I'll just leave it right there. 1 in 34 million.
God made you so specially and so uniquely. It's just awesome.
So remember, kids, God made you special, and He loves you very much.
Well, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it, and I look forward to people learning about their strengths. Thanks for watching again today. God bless you as you connect faith and life.